The middle way led Siddhartha through the countryside. He had been traveling for 6 years. He had experienced pain and suffering and had stretched the boundaries of his mind. But he'd still not found the inner peace and harmony he was searching for. The state of absolute wisdom and everlasting bliss, known as enlightenment. Siddhartha arrived at Bodh Gaya. Here his torment would end. He sat down beneath a tree and vowed not to leave until he had reached enlightenment. Flesh may decay, bones may fall apart, but I will never leave this place until I find the way to enlightenment.
He's no longer giving himself a hard time, he's not stressing himself unbearably, he's not undergoing anything painful. He thinks, well, life is painful enough without taking the trouble to make it more painful, but let me just calmly think things out, think of how life works.
He starts to focus the mind by attention to the slow movement of the breath coming in and going out, and to the refined sensation which exists in the body, perhaps just around the nose, in a way which starts to lead to the mind quietening, stilling, settling, gathering, purifying.
Siddhartha's mind was now so focused that he could successfully enter the darkest reaches of his unconscious. It was now that he would face his final and greatest torment. The demon Mara, the lord of ego and illusion, appeared before him. He could make any horror real in Siddhartha's mind.
It's very important to remember that Mara, this demon king, is not like the Christian Satan, because he isn't a tempter and he isn't any kind of counterpart to God. He is purely the psychological forces which we have within us.
Mara unleashed an army of demons to attack Siddhartha. They fired flaming arrows at him. But mid-flight, Siddhartha turned them into lotus blossoms, and they fell harmlessly around him. Having failed, Mara then tried to seduce Siddhartha with his tempting daughters. The faces of Mara's daughters began to rot before Siddhartha's eyes. The evil daughters then disappeared into the earth. The earth is said to have trembled as he dispelled the devil. Siddhartha, now aged 35, passed through 4 jhanas to reach enlightenment and become the Buddha, or awakened one. He then spent 7 days beneath a tree in a meditative state of absolute bliss. In this highly attuned state, the Buddha saw a way to escape the inevitable cycle of old age, sickness, and death. He realized that if we remove desire, we can remove dissatisfaction and suffering from our lives. The insight the Buddha attained beneath the tree was the birth of Buddhism, a religion followed today by 400 million people. The Buddha summed up his wisdom in 4 noble truths, which are the foundation of all Buddhist beliefs. The The first noble truth recognized that there is suffering in life. The second diagnosed the cause of that suffering, desire. In the third truth, like a doctor, the Buddha revealed that there was a cure for desire. And in the fourth noble truth, he gave the prescription, how to cure the illness and achieve enlightenment or nirvana. The Buddha would further teach that morality, meditation, and wisdom were the stepping stones to enlightenment. He would dedicate the rest of his life helping others to follow this path, towards freedom from suffering. As his followers grew in number, he went on to set up a school, or sangha. Today, a temple stands beside a descendant of the very tree under which the Buddha became enlightened. After 8 years, he went back to the palace and the family he'd abandoned. We're told his father now forgave the Buddha for the deep hurt he had caused. King Siddhartha now realized the importance of his son's quest. His stepmother even begged to join his sangha, and she went on to become history's first nun. The Buddha was to abandon his family again. He set out to teach for 40 years, passing on to his followers the wisdom he had attained beneath the Bodhi tree. But before he left, he ordained his son as a monk. The Buddha encouraged his followers to live together in a monastery or sangha to help them focus on the path to enlightenment. Over the centuries, his message has evolved into a number of different traditions with their own interpretations and monastic practices. But the Buddha taught that lay people can also follow the path to eternal bliss and ultimate wisdom. Some schools of Buddhism believe the Buddha was superhuman, a magical figure who consorted with gods and performed miracles. Others that he was no more than a human being, and they believe it is this that adds power to his message. The Buddha would die at the age of 80 from a common illness, food poisoning. It is said that before passing away, he fell into a deep trance on his journey from this world to nirvana, a state of eternal bliss, free at last from rebirth, free at last from suffering and death. A council was assembled to record for posterity the Buddha's teachings. These were learnt by heart and handed down the centuries by generations of monks. The Buddha's body was cremated and his remains were preserved. They were enshrined 200 years later by India's first emperor king, Ashoka, who converted to Buddhism. He built vast monuments or stupas and erected pillars to mark the key sites of the Buddha's life.